welcome, chill and grab a seat. It's another episode, DFS and Dynasty. You know who the baddest be. We talking about that fantasy football. Oh boy, going in beast mode. Cheat sheets, cheat code. Team QB, different level. Won't believe how we do it. Sleeper league, kick it with your boy Steve. Yeah, we Austin, awesome. I'm a man, John. We don't play, now we dope. Best fantasy football podcast on the globe. Get involved, rock and roll, DFS and Dynasty, homie, here we go.
I hope you're ready. It is time for Fantasy Football Championships. Man, this is the week 16, for all of you redraft and dynasty plays. Congratulations if you're still alive. And if not, then you're playing DFS.
Sexy.
So we got something for everybody today. And with me, as always, is the wonderful, sexy man, Austin himself. How you doing, Austin?
Yeah, but I don't put out.
I would take you to a movie and to a dinner. I'm just going to be honest with you. Not with that attitude, but we'll get there. I just got to warm you up a little bit, with some little charm. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about weather-impacted games, news and notes, value plays, games to target, stay away from. So we've got something for everybody. And most importantly, we're here to answer your questions. So if you have any fantasy questions, just enter them into the chat there. Austin will jump over and interrupt me at any time. Your questions are the priority. I understand it is championship week. So, again, man, just congratulations. I've got 3 teams in the championship out of 5. So I've had a pretty good year so far. Hopefully I can close some of those
I don't have enough
out.
wine.
Austin,
I don't have enough
can you
freaking
give us
liquor.
A quick
Dude, it's been horrible this year, man. I made
is
too many
going?
damn mistakes, man. Dude, I'm a first round buster. That's my nickname. I changed it on most of my teams. I went out in the first round on probably all 12. I mean, I made it to the playoffs on all but 2, and out the first round, it's that year, man. It's just that freaking type of year. Too high on DJ, not high enough on Kansas City. I stayed away from the NFC West. Big mistake, when it comes to receiving. So,
man, you know what's interesting is I just looked up yesterday. I tweeted out what was the first round average draft position in redraft leagues, and it was Gurley. Then
Crazy.
Le'Veon Bell was 2, DJ 3, Zeke, Antonio Brown, Saquon, Kamara, Fournette, Hunt, Hopkins, Gordon, Odell. Yeah. And so, obviously Bell was a bust. He's a top 12 running back, but he hasn't really won you anything. Saquon was exceptional. Kamara was exceptional. Fournette was awful. Hunt was great until, he kind of did that thing. And then Odell, Odell's missed 3 weeks. This would be his 3rd week in a row. Just things have changed. And, if I went back and changed the first round ADP, knowing what we know now, tell me where I'm wrong here. Because this should have been the first round, in my opinion. Gurley 1, CMC 2, Saquon Barkley 3, Kamara 4, Zeke 5, Devontae Adams jumps up. He is the leading point getter for all the wide receivers at this point. DeAndre Hopkins, James Conner, even though he's missed these games, he still was so valuable. He got you into the playoffs by himself. Gordon, Tyreek Hill, which I just hate typing in the first round. Julio Jones, and then Mahomes. I think
so here's
advantage in points over the number
that's a
2
great
position
point
is
too.
just so
you do
large.
not win your
I
leagues
think it would have
through
been worth
your
it.
draft.
Disagree
you have
there?
to be consistently involved and making sure you're hitting the waivers and paying attention to what's going on around you, or you're just gonna miss out. That was the biggest takeaway from everything you just said. Now, My question to you is: we're going into 2019. Are you taking Mahomes late second round?
I probably won't, because somebody will take him first round. And again, a lot of it has to do with how I value the position, which I don't. If I could get Mahomes in the second round, I would definitely take him, but I don't think that's going to happen. If we look at this year's draft, Aaron Rodgers was going in the second round. Then you had Russell Wilson was going in the 3rd to 4th round. Deshaun Watson, 3rd to 4th round. All these guys were going super early. Well, guess what? None of them are top 6 fantasy quarterbacks, because you only start one quarterback and there are 32 starters on a given week. It's just not there. So I still will stay with my tried and true. running backs and wide receivers. Always go with your bell cow running back if you can find them. If not, go for high upside, high volume wide receivers. So I probably will never have Patrick Mahomes on my lineups just because I would prefer to have somebody like, Juju Smith-Schuster over that quarterback position. That's just me. But, yeah, who knows? We'll see what happens. We got a lot of offseason to talk about that. And, again, even if you are a first-round bust like Austin, that's why he's so great at DFS, because he is on top of everything. So, having said that, let's jump into the weather. What games are going to be affected
most games,
today?
90% of the main slate is going to be clear.
Good old St. Nick. He's bringing in the weather.
The biggest concern is the Denver at
for?
Oakland game. They're calling for rain with consistent winds from 18 to 20 miles an hour. Obviously, this hurts the kicking and passing attack. Definitely an upgrade for Lindsey and Broncos defense. On the Raiders side, Broncos defense is pretty tight when it comes to the run. I'm concerned. I would like to say maybe Cook would be the only play, but Derek Carr is, Derek Carr. Right.
Yeah. They're throwing the ball a lot, but gosh,
and
man,
then,
just devoid
it's going to be raining in
talent.
Seattle. No surprise.
I don't know how you could trust anybody
everyone's
there
used to that game.
if you're at a fantasy
and then
championship or
Bengals
DFS.
at Browns, supposed to be close to an inch. But other than maybe Mixon and Njoku, who else are we really targeting this game? Exactly. If you're putting money on the line this week, other than Mixon and the tight end, that's the only ones I feel safe to say and put out that kind of data.
Yeah, and that's the thing as we look at these games, we'll be highlighting the over-unders, basically what Vegas thinks these point totals will be, and look at expected point totals for teams and who you should kind of stack up on or, favor. Again, the problem is with the NFL once we get late into the season is they flex out the most exciting games, and so that's kind of a rough one because the Kansas City Seattle game has a 55-point total, but they flex that out to Sunday night game, so we don't get to have that. So at least for DFS main slate. So without further ado, man, we got a lot of news and notes. This is a rough time of year. Week 16, so every team's played. This is going to be their 15th game. And because every team had their bye week, there are so many studs that we just don't know what's going to go on. So hopefully we can bring some clarity to those issues. But the one thing I will say before we get into this week will reward the people that are grinders, because you're going to have to be refreshing and moving your lineups around and subbing players in and out. It's going to be a very hectic Sunday 2 days before Christmas. So just sit down, be prepared, stay on RotoWire, Twitter. If you got questions, hit us up. I should probably do that. Austin, where can they ask you questions on Twitter? Austin's probably the most active out of all of us. He is always there for whatever you need. So, Austin, where can they find you? Yeah, so he's your guy. If you want to ask me, I'm at JL_Chapman. I would say out other people's Twitter handle, but I am super dyslexic, and I know I'm going to mess up a letter every time, so that's why I always just say, Austin, you say yours. Dyslexia is fun. All right, here we go. Let's jump into news and notes. Right off the bat, the number one guy, Todd Gurley. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? And even if he doesn't play, we don't even know who his backup's going to be. So he is playing that Sunday late game. They have kickoff at 4:05 p.m. Eastern or 1:05 if you're in California. And so you are very limited to who you can put into his place if he is going to be out. So right off the bat, just kind of quick tip here. If you're in Fantasy Championship, make sure Gurley is in your flex position. So if worst case scenario, you don't have John Kelly, you don't have CJ Anderson, you don't feel comfortable with either one of those, you can get somebody else in there that might be a wide receiver or a tight end, worst case scenario. Because if Gurley doesn't go, I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a large portion of people that lose their championships because he's going to put up a goose egg. Because they're going to keep him in their lineup. He's going to be inactive, which I don't think is going to happen. But some star this week that we think is going to play or going to be a game time decision is going to be out. So, Austin, CJ Anderson, they came out and said he would probably be
Wouldn't it
the
be
start.
smart just to make a
man,
tournament
I don't know
lineup
if I
with
buy into that. Who
one
would
or the
you
other?
rather have,
Honestly,
John
I wouldn't
Kelly
even
or
touch
CJ
Gurley at
Anderson
his
if
price
Gurley
point
cannot
anyway, at
go?
9,500, especially with concern of an injury. I don't have him in any lineups this
Yep.
week, and if I do, it'll be quickly removed. Hey, this is the week. So think about it. Week 16 last year was the week that hit big thanks to injuries. But Gurley had three or four touchdowns that week as well. So it's kind of unfortunate that we don't have that bell cow this week to kind of rely on.
Right. Well, let me say this. This is a question I got earlier today. What do you think I should do? Should I roll with Gurley, keep him in my lineup, and if he is out, just sub in John Kelly, or
Yeah, I mean,
be
honestly,
proactive,
this is one of those
take
games
Gurley
where you
out
just
now
kind of rest
and
Gurley.
put in Jamal
I can
Williams?
just picture
And
the
just,
Rams
no
doing
matter
it.
what,
It's
Gurley's
just,
not going to be a start.
He got you there.
Ah.
Yeah.
For DFS, I don't have a problem with that. If you're in a fantasy championship, I'd have
Look
a
at
hard
Keenan
time
Allen
having
last night.
him
Dude,
on
I
my
saw
bench.
Keenan Allen on so
I would
many
find
freaking
a way.
benches, and I'm like, how do
Hopefully,
put
you
Keenan
have a
Allen on
flex
your
play
bench
or
if
something.
you're in the fantasy playoffs?
Move him out of that. Yeah. He got 8.3 points in half-point PPR, but he had 3 catches wiped away by penalties on the offensive line or whatever. So he should have had a double-digit point game, and that was against a bad game script against an amazing defense. And again, for all those people that saw the huge point total that Mike Williams got, 33 points in Week 15, and you thought, oh, man, this guy's going to bring me the championship, you should have known. And we tried telling you, if Keenan Allen's playing and Melvin Gordon's playing, that target share is non-existent. And that's what happened. What, he put up 3 points? This is a weird fantasy season. And again, it rewards the grinders. So I think Gurley is going to play. But again, be smart. Move him into that flex spot so that you have a little bit more options just in case doomsday scenario. Now, DeAndre Hopkins, he has been questionable all year, banged up. But this is the first time that I kind of have a feeling he might not play. He hurt his ankle in the very first play of the game last week and played all the way through it on one leg. You saw him hobbling around. He practiced a lot this week, but they're saying there's a legitimate chance that his ankle will stop him from going. They're going to test it pregame, and they quote-unquote believe he will play. Man, this scares the hell out of me. Man, what do we do here? Because this affects that entire offense, and this offense is already a mess because Lamar Miller's out.
This gives a huge boost to Demaryius Thomas.
And now you're going to add this to it. Are you going to play any
other kid,
Texans players?
DeAndre Carter.
DeAndre Hopkins
I have no information on him as of yet. I'm still waiting to see the news on Hopkins to go from there. But I mean, with the
DeAndre Carter, he was a Niners draft pick out of Alabama, slot guy, kind of kick returner
cheap.
guy. But
Vegas really didn't move the line at all this week.
Hopkins
it went up half a point.
Yeah,
and
great
the Eagles
DFS
are
play
still
just
a
because the
2.5
volume
point
will
favorite
be there, but
at home because they're probably at home.
Yeah.
But I would actually look at bumping the Eagles a little bit more now. So, and maybe even using their defense this week.
Yeah, man, how crazy would that be to use the Philly defense after they've been torched all year? DeAndre Carter is 4,500 on FanDuel, and there's going to be a lot of those plays. Both C.J. Anderson and John Kelly are 4,500 as well on FanDuel. So if you can get the starting running back into your lineup for that price for the Los Angeles Rams, holy freaking cow, against the Arizona Cardinals no less, there is going to be money to be made there, but who's it going to be? I'm betting John Kelly all day, but I will throw a C.J. Anderson lineup in there. So DeAndre Hopkins, we'll have to keep watching that one. Julio Jones, he has been questionable his entire career, but it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. He has a hip and a rib issue, and again, the quote that they used was, "We have the belief," end quote, he will play. What the hell's up with all of these
he's another
whatever
one. At his price point,
ambiguous
I think I'm fading him
terms
now,
on whether they're going to play or not?
Like
what do you
said,
think of Julio?
If I'm 8,700 on FanDuel right now, and you might be injured, dude, that's just way too much money out there right now. I mean, I'm looking at Ridley and Sanu. I looked at maybe the matchups and stuff. I'm leaning more Sanu over Ridley. I know Steven likes. I know he likes Ridley more than Sanu this week, so that's, yeah. But I mean, then you can just kind of chalk
Sanu
it up
has
as
not
saying
put up
he's
double-digit
due.
points in 8 games. I
But
know
Ridley,
that because he's on my
Ridley's
damn
been about
roster.
the same point, though. I mean, it's been quite a few games where we ever said Ridley. So
Yeah, and that's the thing.
right.
The touchdowns, though, that's the thing. So, like, Ridley returned value last week, even though he didn't have one of his, 20-point games. He got double digits. And the thing is that, man, Julio quietly, he's got 1,500 yards. Like, he's got 6 touchdowns, which is kind of on pace for where he usually is. But, man, if Julio plays, and against
5
this Carolina
touchdowns
defense, their corners are not suspect. If you remember last year, this is where Julio had that 50-point game or whatever, where he went off. Yeah, and it was at Carolina. So we'll just have to see what happens there. But I do agree with you. The price point's pretty steep for somebody that might be a game-time decision. I probably won't have a lot of Julio this week, but it's what it is. A guy that I would have a lot of this week, I absolutely love this game. T.Y. Hilton is hoping to play with his ankle. Now, he did get a couple practices in this week, which is much better than he did last week, and he still had a good game last week. I love Andrew Luck in this offense this week.
I definitely like the Colts.
Try to talk me off this T.Y. ledge because I think I might have him.
The only other way I would talk you off it is, I hate to say it, but the Cowboys are cheaper all the way around. I mean, Hilton 7,700. Oh, dude, don't even, dude. I took it all out on Nick, man. I kind of feel bad. My bad, Nick.
The Cowboys,
but I was so
had
salty because me, I'm a Cowboy.
I
can't stand even talking about them. But you had to go with them last week. The matchup was just amazing. But this one is too. I mean, against the Bucks at home, they got a 7-point. They're expected to score more than a touchdown than the Bucks, and with an over/under of 48. I mean, this is one of those games. I honestly think Prescott will be the chalkiest play and safe for cash. It makes me sick even saying it. I mean, Josh Allen is more expensive than Prescott this week, and the Cowboys are playing the Bucks at home. I mean, what's that tell you about the industry and how they feel about Prescott?
Yeah, and that's the thing. What if I told you, Austin, that the Tampa Bay Bucks have not allowed 30 points in the past 4 games. And in 2 of those games, they didn't allow more than 17 points. That this Bucks defense maybe is not legit, but it's improved, right? The first half of the season, it was about as bad as it could be. They got Jean-Pierre Paul back, they got a lot. Vinny Curry back. They got a lot of people back. But that front seven.
I can see the Colts having the ball the whole
injuries.
game. I mean, you figure the Giants, all they have is Barkley this week. Barkley and Ingram. I mean, Barkley's 9K.
I hate the Cowboys.
I hate them. I might have a single lineup with him. Ingram will probably I'll probably use him a lot because Eli has no one else to throw to with. Beckham. Beckham's out for 4 games now, 4.5 games, something. You're gonna make.
This is 3. This is his 3rd game.
You're lucky.
The reason why Austin does that is we have a bet
out of here,
that if
the Giants are making
Odell
into
misses 5 or more
postseason.
games,
So unless something crazy happens where he retires, it's just that's so freaking lucky. I knew they were going to hold him out too. I knew it. When he went out the game, I was like, you know what, he ain't coming back.
Oh man, yeah. He's not coming back, and I absolutely love with Odell out. Evan Ingram is a great play. Great play. Moving on with our questionable tag, guys. Golladay is questionable with his chest. He is expected to play, but man, this just seems like I don't mind playing Golladay, but I want to stay away from this as much as possible. Even the fact that Stafford is not fully cleared. This game just seems disgusting. Minnesota at Detroit. That Minnesota defense is playing like we expected them to all year. They finally have kind of taken hold.
Every time I don't play him, he burns me.
Spread. Over under.
So
man, what do you think? Would you play Golladay at all?
Plays that got you big money last week. So I don't know. Hey, going over to YouTube. Austin asks, "What if I told you eat sleep fantasy 30 for 30?"
Yeah, I like it.
Would you do it? Yeah. There you go.
What if I told you? You're not supposed to boil hot dogs. They belong in the microwave. Heck yeah, man, I'd do it. I think it would be the rated R version, and they would have to air it on ESPN Plus or something because it would not be for the casual observer, not family friendly. Or maybe we'd have to have a lot of bleeps and blur
It'd be interesting,
spots.
man. I would sit there and want to do it only because,
but that's okay.
Man, Fab 5 is probably my favorite.
I'd be down. So. What about you, Austin?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there's so many good ones. The two Escobars.
That's what we do in the
offseason,
man. That's what we'll do, man. We'll do a 30 for 30 run, and we'll talk about the episodes.
Man, there's so many good ones. I could watch all those forever. It's the holidays. Oh, that would be amazing. That could be a college class. All right, moving on. We have Juju, man, and I just want to give props to Team Juju. He came out, he put up a Twitter post that said, "Fantasy championships are on the line. You guys have trusted me all year. No way I'm sitting this game out. We're going to go out there and win some championships." And this is the thing. Melvin Gordon did it last week. Juju did it this week. We've had lots of players in the past that come out and say, "I don't give a damn about your fantasy championship." And they're right. They probably shouldn't. However, as far as PR goes and understanding why these people buy your jerseys, why they renamed their kids after you, all these different stuff, is because you brought them this fun feeling and a positive experience, and that comes through fantasy or DFS or whatever. So, props to Juju for understanding where his market value comes from as far as fan base and all those things. So, I love this kid, man. I live in Southern California.
I always like
USC.
Juju. I mean,
I'm not a USC
someone
fan.
Stole his bicycle.
I really do respect
he's
this
one
guy.
Of those guys that just brings
Does this make
attention
you like
to
him more?
And it's nothing in a negative light, so it's hard not to like the kid.
When he laid out Vontaze Burfict, I immediately was like, I love this kid. Vontaze Burfict is one of my least favorite NFL players. That's just dirty and a piece of shit. So whenever he did that on that crackback block, which should be illegal, mind you, I freaking fell in love. I don't like the concussion stuff. I don't like all that stuff. But if you talk about a guy that finally got what he had coming to him, I was freaking pumped. So anyway, Juju's probably going to play, and he has had a pretty solid season, all in all, but his price point is just inching closer and closer to the top. He is priced at $8,000 on FanDuel. He is a top 10 priced wide receiver week in and week out, and he goes against New Orleans. Now, this is supposed to be a huge game as far as point total goes, but the New Orleans Saints have played such great defense lately that it doesn't matter who they play. They seem to find a way to just limit them to little or nothing.
I'm not.
How confident
like I wrote in the
are
notes,
you
man. I mean,
playing
the Saints
against this team?
To win by
they haven't allowed
6.5.
20 points in 6 games.
Expected score of the game is 53. I mean, that's high. I mean, those points got to come from somewhere. Ben's on the road. He's 8,700. Way too expensive. But I'm probably have one or two. You got to have one or two. Brown's 87. Yeah, which is crazy. Yep. Yeah, the myth.
He has averaged 25 points per game on the road this year.
I might do a lineup with Brown only because
kind of
he's due. I mean, Brown hasn't had a good game in a while that I can remember. I'm definitely staying away from Juju. AK with a groin injury. I mean, he's the first one I could see going out this week. Vance McDonald might be the safest play on the Steelers side at 5,500. On the other side, I mean, how do you not do a Breeze, Kamara, and Thomas lineup? I mean, their price point is actually pretty good, except for Breeze, where you kind of want to push in that direction. I'll even have a lineup with Ingram in him because Ingram is due for a big game as well. He hasn't had one in about 3 weeks, so.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. I just got a message via Twitter, direct message, so I'll just put that up on here. Championship game. I have Connor out. Who should I play?
Michelle,
half point PPR.
right now.
Ingram, Sony Michel, or McGuire?
Yeah.
Ooh.
McGuire? You're going to go Ingram?
Even though he's done nothing for 5 weeks straight as far as touchdown vultures, I'm going Ingram. Yeah, I'm going to go Mark Ingram. This game just
But Jets
seems
at
to
home
say,
against the Packers?
I could see a ground and pound
McGuire
in
might
there
be a
and just
decent
try to
play
keep
this
that
week.
Pittsburgh offense off of the field. I'm going Ingram. His upside.
Yes.
Decent play for sure. He has a higher floor than I think the other guys do, but I am not going to rely on a New York Jet to win my championship. In one of my dynasty leagues I'm in, I don't think it's our league, I have Tom Brady and Sam Darnold as my quarterbacks.
You have to.
I don't like either one. I'm stacked everywhere else. But I'm staying Tom Brady against this Buffalo defense, which I don't think is a great play. But I am not starting Sam Darnold, and I might lose. That's okay. Darnold is not going to be the hill I die on. Neither will Elijah McGuire. You got Trenton Cannon there. They're trying to see what that guy can do. I'm just staying away. I'm going Ingram there. Yeah, exactly. It's New York Jets, man. They're gangrene for something. Now, let's move on to Matt Breida. This is a little bit of positive news. It seems like we could have just copy and pasted this one in every week. He hurt his ankle early on, but he's quietly been pretty amazing. However, he's got the tough matchup against Chicago at home today. Jeff Wilson, the other running back there for San Fran, has been pretty special. Man, what do you do with this lineup? Are you just staying away from this backfield? Even though Kyle Shanahan just seems to put up insane numbers week in and week out?
Like, the logic in my head says stay away. But like you said, man, this whole season's been so jacked up that I just need to rely on someone else for games like this. But news just came out. Hopkins is playing. So,
hells yes, thank you. Hopkins with all these other people out.
I think I'm still going to go Demaryius.
Look what he did last week whenever he only had 1 foot. He could have his highest target share of the year this week. You mean in DFS, you wouldn't start Demaryius over. Gotcha. But again, if you look at, back to Matt Breida, in just the last 6 games, 12, 12.6, 13.2, 23.4. The problem with him is you could put him in your lineup and he could go out there the very first series, get his ankle tweaked, and then he's on the bench the rest of the time. So, this is definitely not a cash game viable play, even though he is priced at $6,000. He's just, I don't want to say injury prone. It's just he's got a naggy ankle. He's only missed 1 game in his entire life going back from middle school all the way to NFL. That was a few weeks ago. So, take that for what you want. I'm staying away from basically this entire offense against the Bears. There's just better plays. I've been on Dante Pettis since he got the active started role, but this is just one I don't want to play with. I'm just staying away. Spencer Ware is doubtful, and so does that mean we're going to get even more Williams magic as things go on? He came out and just had a monster game last week. This is the night game for Kansas City, so if you are playing in the
for the late one,
game lineups or whatever, Damian
this
Williams
game
is
big time.
6,700.
This is the one to go for.
What are we doing there, Austin?
Where? But this is a must-win for both teams if you think about it. It's not like must-win for Kansas City. I mean, if they want that home field advantage and that bye, they really got to pull out all stops against the Seahawks at home. Yep. Yeah.
They have to win one of their next 2 games because the Chargers lost to lock up that 1 seed. So, and this is a big reason why you have your fantasy championships in week 16.
Damian Williams, though, I could
because if you think
see
this week's rough,
together
holy
cow,
wait till next week.
Chris Carson, in my opinion, would probably be the way to go
nightmare.
if I was pushing running backs for this week out of this slate, because you're going to go. I mean, if you're looking at this slate, I'm just talking like the late into Monday. I mean, you're going to go Lindsey, you're going to go Chris Carson, and then you're going to go Tyreek Hill. And then you're probably going to go Lockett if you're putting together a lineup out of those 2 games. So, yes. Oh, and yeah.
Oh, Lockett. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't hate the player. I just hate how he gets 2 targets a game, but is still in the double digits somehow. I have a hard time relying on non-volume, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, moving on. Cobb is doubtful. I do not think he's going to play versus the Jets, especially since they are out of the playoffs with a concussion. Man, Aaron Rodgers has got to throw to somebody besides Devontae Adams, and who's it going to be? It's Lance Kendricks. Is it Marquez Valdez-Scantling? Who's it going to be in that game? Right now, I'm just feeling like Aaron Rodgers,
now that you said it out loud,
Jamal Williams,
gave me a little
and
tingle,
Devontae Adams
like that
is
one.
a stack that I actually kind of
bad.
like. How gross is that?
I'm shocked that Aaron Rodgers is still playing. You figure this time last year, he came in for like one game and then went back on IR, so... that speaks volumes for his character. He says he's going to come out and play when they 2 more weeks and they're done. They'll be on the couch with us. But ESB might be he gets a lot of volume. If you notice, Rodgers has an eye for him, so he might be a sneaky play this week.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, they made the purpose decision when Cobb came back that they were going to move Marquez Valdez-Scantling outside, that he would be the number 2 guy. But Cobb has been so inconsistent and banged up that, he's taken over, not Cobb, ESB has taken over kind of that slot role, which Aaron Rodgers absolutely loves. So we'll just have to see what happens there. Moving on, Odell's out. We talked about that one briefly. James Conner is out as well with his ankle. Absolute bummer there. Man, what is your confidence in Jalen Samuels at running back? He has just been. It just goes to show you, man. Kyle Shanahan running backs or Pittsburgh Steelers running backs. Whoever's in there,
it's just one of those games where you look
they're
at
going
it
to play
and
well.
Like, man, I know this. I know I need to play this, but the other side of the ball looks a lot nicer, I guess, when you look at how to make money. But this is one of those. Like I said, I'll defer to 1 year lineups and I'll just throw it in there and. Praise baby Jesus. I know. But the Saints defense, that's...
Man, he's put up 18, 12, and 10 since he stepped in, and that was against some tough defenses.
It's not bad. No.
Yeah, I think the volume is there, and at 6,700, the price point matches. He's not dirt cheap, but it's not bad. There's definitely a lot worse that you could do.
Right.
I would be shocked if he's not in double-digit fantasy points again.
Yes.
But again, what's his ceiling? Is it crazy? I don't know. I think if you get 12 points, that's kind of what you expect.
It's almost like we got to do a Ben Samuel Brown lineup just for.
Is he going to be a guy that's going to get multiple touchdowns? I think he can, but I don't think he will.
Say we had exposure to it. We went out, we touched it. So
here's what's crazy. Every time I have done a stack with the Pittsburgh Steelers, I've put Juju in it over AB just because you're paying up for Big Ben, you were paying up for Connor, and Juju is about $1,000 cheaper on the week every week. And so, I don't know, man. It's interesting to say the least. Even if we look at this week, Antonio Brown's 87, Juju's 8,000. So you're getting that $700 discount, and they're averaging within a point of each other on the season. Antonio Brown is clearly the number 1, not saying that. But if they're going against New Orleans, that means Marshawn Lattimore is going to be shadowing Antonio Brown. I'll take Juju out of the slot any day. His big play potential is just insane. And last piece of news, I don't know if this is news, Sammy Watkins is out again. I doubt that he plays anymore at all. That gives you some sneaky plays. And the main reason why I brought this up is, let's say Gurley is out for you. With Sammy Watkins playing that late game, that means you can get somebody like Chris Conley, like Damian Williams, somebody like that into your lineup late if Gurley cannot go with that Sunday afternoon game. So just keep in mind there are plays out there, but plan ahead. Do not wait to pick up Chris Conley, or Damian Williams is picked up for sure. Go pick somebody up now and be proactive so that you have the chance. Because I'll tell you right now, if I'm playing somebody with Gurley in the championship, I am dropping defenses and all kinds of different stuff to make sure that I have every person that you would sub in if he is out.
Ooh.
Excuse me. So, anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, let's do it. Ooh. Man, that's huge. I guarantee you Jerry Jones is losing his racist mind right now somewhere in Dallas. I hope wherever they sell Johnny Walker Black Label and Blue Label out there, he doesn't drink black. That's what I drink. he is just going town to town buying everything because Sean Lee is his adopted child, and he has come out and supported him over and over and over again, despite the fact that Leighton Vander Esch has looked just unreal. And oh man, this is awesome. Yeah. I like Sean Lee.
Yeah, you think
he
about
is
it.
always injured.
Gives Winston.
But,
I mean, he's 7K
man, with things on the line and a must
Barber
win,
even now,
you're going to healthy scratch that guy.
He gets a nice bump.
Whew. It's funny. I'm playing against Dale in our Dynasty League. He has, and I'm not joking, Peyton Barber is starting on his championship contending Dynasty League roster. Now, having said that, it's a very deep Dynasty League where you start 9 running backs, wide receivers combined, so it's much deeper than normal ones. This week. But every time I look at that, I'm just like, I have to beat this roster. You can't start Peyton Barber and win a championship. Yeah, watch that come back and bite me. Oh, well.
All right, so like I said earlier, not a lot of movement this week. I think Vegas pretty much put out the beginning of the week is this is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Take it away, my friend.
They expect us to go big on the Kansas City-Seattle game. It moved. It had the biggest movement this week. It went from 53 points to 55 expected score. So it's going to be a high-flying game. It's going to be a fun one. I'm glad it's a late game. I'm bummed we don't get any piece of it in the main slate, but it'll definitely be an enjoyable game. Vegas also tells us that the Browns, Pats, and Rams are expected to score more than 10 points. So you kind of want to sit there and fiddle through those players when you're building your lineups for, and I would say GPPs. As far as cash and those, I can't, other than Njoku, maybe Edelman, I can't see using any of those. I would do a lot of the Rams receivers, though, for cash games. I feel pretty safe and confident using guys like Woods and what's the kid from the Patriots we lost? We just lost them this year. Brandon Cooks, and Reynolds too. So, I mean, I feel real confident saying, hey, that would be a good team to push when you're looking for wide receivers.
Josh Reynolds.
And then the games are supposed to be close to or over 50 points, like we talked about earlier. The Steelers at the Saints, Giants at the Colts, and now the Bucks at the Cowboys. I think that could easily be one heck of a shootout for that game now. And then late Sunday, Monday, Chiefs Seahawks, like we already talked about. But yeah. They were my favorite stack of the week, but
man, you talked about the Cowboys and how you have to play them. Are they your
Colts,
favorite stack of the week?
Yeah, there you go, the Colts. I mean, that is such a nice. I mean, Luck is 8,200. He's the most. I know he's a little more expensive. He's 1,100 more than Prescott.
On the Colts this week.
But Mac is only 7K, and Hilton's 7,700, and Ebron's even 6,100. So you're right, man. And even that defense would be a good, because they're going to have to stack the box against Barkley, and they're going to make everyone's second favorite QB throw against them. And I just love those faces and memes that Eli puts out for us. I mean, I can't believe they want him back next year. That is a whole nother topic, but it's just shocking that they love him that much. So,
and I'll say this too, like the Colts, their offensive line is incredible, and the fact that they have allowed Andrew Luck to stay upright without taking sacks, but that defense, holy freaking cow. And also, I just want to give a shout out. Darius Leonard not making the Pro Bowl this year is just stupid. That guy should be in mention for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think he should win it, but I think he should be top 4. For him not to make the Pro Bowl is just unreal. I understand a lot of people don't know who he is, but that guy is just playing a hell of a year, leading the NFL in tackles. He's got sacks, interceptions, touchdowns. Like, that guy's balling out. And that defense, gosh, the Giants, they have signaled to their entire team, we are done for the year with the whole Odell thing. And I just think that this game could get bad. We saw what the Colts did to the other NFC East team, the Cowboys, and laid a giant goose egg. Kept their offense from scoring. I think this could be a bad one. So I'm staying away from all Giants players.
Him and the Cowboys. I mean, the whole NFC East.
About the only play that I like. Saquon destroyed me last week. Gosh,
what do I know?
That hurt so bad. But yep. Now, a couple other plays that you put together here, as far as other players to target this weekend if things go bad, or just because you like them. So, Austin, run us through these players real quick, and what I want you guys to kind of perk your ears up to is these cheaper plays.
Hey, before I
these
get
are
into
going to be
that,
our
speaking
value
of the
plays
Colts,
of
you
the
want to
week,
hear
just
one of
in
my
case something
sad,
goes wrong
makes me
last
kinda
minute. You
cry
need to sub out
predictions?
on FanDuel or whatever. Take us through these
the
players.
Patriots lose to the Colts in the second round this year, and so yeah,
Yeah, if you're sad, I'm happy.
yeah.
Ooh. So that would be a game that would be
I think we have to win
played
today in order to get the first round bye
in New
I think it's
Orleans.
Yeah, if Kansas
So
City
you
loses, I
guys
think we get the
man,
first
y'all
round
have the
bye.
first round bye as of now,
So,
don't you?
But yeah, it brought a tear to my eye. I was looking over some of the different
you?
things to get ready for wild card weekends and all the playoffs, and I could see the Colts sneaking into the playoffs and just running through everyone this year. Yeah. Now if they lose today,
Oh, Houston's ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Houston's ahead
I
of you
think
for
we
that
do,
number
but
2
don't quote me.
seed by a full game. So they would
You
have
look
to
it up while I go
lose.
through the players.
Y'all played each other, right?
So other players
Who
I'm
won
looking
that
at this
game?
week for DFS only, and not looking
That's
to put
okay.
them in. I mean,
I'm-
Diggs
I'm
always.
looking it up now.
You better be playing them. But Nick
Yeah, go
Foles,
ahead.
6K on FanDuel. Jamal Williams is going to be probably one of the chalkiest running backs because he's so cheap and he's going to get the volume. 5,800, like I said, we talked about that stack. Diggs is 7,300. I'm actually leaning more Thielen this week. I have a feeling that Thielen's going to crush this week. So but Diggs, you can't sleep on Diggs.
I like it.
Yeah.
He has been unreal. It was all Thielen the
and
first
then,
half,
Brandon
and
Cooks,
now
like
it's
we
all
talked about,
Diggs.
he's
They
7,400.
have kind of switched to the primary.
After talking about it, thinking about it, having a
since
nice
the
discussion with
since
you,
the bye week.
man, I really do like the Rams. Their receiving core this week. It might be a good safe play. Robbie Anderson, 5,900. He has made you money for the past 3 weeks. He's been in like most of the winning lineups. So don't sleep.
Yeah, and I'll say this, in my fantasy championship roster with Odell, I subbed in, I took Odell out, put Robbie Anderson in. Like, he is on my championship roster, and I have confidence in him. I know I said I hate the Jets, and it's hard to trust them, but Robbie Anderson, the thing with him, he's always had an insane ceiling. He's been on several million dollar maker lineups, but now his floor is high. Because all the other wide receivers have basically faded off. Anun was out. Jermaine Kearse is basically the worst wide receiver in the entire NFL. If you watch any of his game film, Robbie Anderson has a high floor and a high ceiling for the first time in his career.
As always.
And they're playing against
Demaryius Thomas,
the New York,
5,300, like
New
we talked
England
about him.
Patriots,
with Hopkins being
defense
back,
is
Hopkins
not
could be
great.
nothing more than a decoy. So, and then with the Julio, still waiting on the Julio news. Ridley and Sanu. Ridley's 5,500, Sanu's 5,300. I definitely recommend putting them in a lineup or two just say you have some exposure and see what happens this week. So, I mean, this is one of the few weeks to where you know, I know Atlanta's out of it, but they're still viable for fun. You know what I mean? So, oh, we got a question too.
Yeah, for sure. I have a lineup again, with good old Matt Ryan as my starting quarterback.
It's
I'm
a full
scared,
point
but
PPR.
man, he's the
So
number
pick
2
one.
quarterback on the
Fournette,
year right now
CJ
as far
Anderson,
as fantasy
or
production goes.
Howard?
So you got to roll with him. So Austin, what is
Fournette?
our question?
Yeah. Against the Finns? Yeah.
You got to stay with Fournette. Out of those, I'm okay with Fournette. The problem was last week, if you saw how many carries he got in the first half, the second half he got 1 carry. I don't think that they are going to continue to do that. The media and everybody kind of blasted him, but I do think that he will get north of 20
I don't know. I'm looking Howard,
touches.
and the reason why I'm looking Howard,
I
say the
think
Bears defense
the
does
upside
stifle the
is
49ers.
just
Say it
there
happens,
with
right?
Fournette
I
over
mean,
the
you
other
figure it's
two
going
guys.
to.
What
I mean,
would you
Cohen
do?
has been the target of targets. They love running Cohen lately. He's gotten a ton of volume, but I could see Howard just to
Right.
save Cohen. For going into the playoffs, I could see them running the crap out of Howard and just running him to the ground this week. So.
It's possible. The volume play, I'm sticking with Fournette, but it's definitely an option if the 49ers just crap the bed and they run the clock out with Howard. But again, you're relying on game script there. I don't like that. Fournette, I think, is a better talent. I think he's got a better offensive line. I don't think he has a better offense, though. Best of luck to you. Rock, paper, scissors for the tie break there, but I'm leaning Fournette. So before we jump off here, this is time for our closing thoughts, where we get in touch with our inner feelings. And all I want to say to you is, first off, congratulations if you are in your championship. Trust your gut. Don't go changing your lineup last minute and tinkering back and forth. What you got is what you got. The only thing that you need to change your lineup for at this point is injuries and people that are out. Do not, I repeat, do not swap back guys back and forth 4 times in a row, because once you do that, you've already lost. Stick with it, play with confidence, have fun, enjoy this day. Even if you lose, man, you made it to the championship. Hopefully you're getting some payout and some bragging rights. But props on the season, and we will be continuing live because, we've got straight DFS talk after this. It goes on. Week 17, you can make so much money in DFS because a lot of starters are out. There's so many value plays. Tournaments they pick up pretty huge. So there's a lot of volume. So stay with us. And if you are having a hard time in DFS, head over to eatsleepfantasy.com. We are still selling our lineups through the end of the year. We're going all the way through the Super Bowl. That's week 21. So we still got a ways to go.
Yeah,
and if you want to buy those, buy a membership, $25 for the rest of the year, and to get you a Bronx membership for Eat Sleep Fantasy. So head over there.
It is. There's a lot of good conversations in there. And then there's Carl.
It's worth everything. It's worth everything.
Like you said, man, even if
Carl.
you lose,
shout out to Carl. We know he's listening.
I'm definitely salty.
So, Austin, closing thoughts of the week from you, my friend.
Dude, I just do not know where right is. This is also the same week a year ago that I was able to crush, and I pulled in about 10K. So this week 16 and 17, like you said, are the 2 perfect weeks to really, we should be playing a pretty, I wouldn't say safe. So, hey, if you think there's a guy out there and you don't know if you should be playing him, hey, go ahead and play him this week. He might be the one guy. He might be that Ted Ginn of 2016 that might help you win big money. So, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I know Gurley's not playing this week. He was big for last year, but we'll find somebody. Hey, lineups will be adjusted and changed. There's, with the news and stuff like that. But hey, just keep an eye out though if you've already paid for the lineup. So make sure you check them about 30 minutes out from game time.
We got some good ones in there. We're going to be making some money this week. Hopefully you will too. Good luck in your championship, and we will be with you guys next week. Peace.
Fantasy.